at the same time, we never knew much about other countries until social media, because it's not emphasized in our school curriculum. So it's us as adults having a genuine curiosity of the world to understand people's different cultures.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Americans on the global stage. We don't live in a bubble, and it turns out the whole world has opinions about us. Now, I have my own theories about what's going on here, but I thought I'd get to the root of the matter and ask Europeans themselves. It makes me a little bit nervous talking to strangers, but I'm just gonna go for it. What are the stereotypes?
That's a good question. Bah moi, quand je pense aux Américains, je pense à la bouffe et tout.
Dans quel sens? Le fast-food?
Ouais,
okay.
Parce que McDo. Ouais.
McDo.
Ouais, hamburger et tout.
Mais les Français adorent McDo.
Oui, ouais. Bah, on y était il y a 2 minutes.
Donc c'est pas forcément négatif, ça?
Non, ah, non.
Okay.
Mais c'est l'image.
Actually, I like Americans because they are like very chilled. America is like so expensive for good food. Like for like fruits and all this fresh stuff, it's like so expensive.
J'ai deux visions un peu.
Okay.
J'ai la version où ils sont trop cool et tout, et la version vraiment le beauf américain.
Do you think the stereotypes about Americans are true?
Kind of. I have a classmate that is American, and we are talking like about our traditional foods, and the American was like, my typical food is hamburger, ice cream, like the McDonald's ones, and we are like, oh, so McDonald's is your typical food? She was like, yeah, kind of.
Could I just take a couple minutes?
College students eat fast food more because they on the go. They gotta get to where they gotta get, and they got books and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I was a college student. I had TV dinners. Not no regular TV dinner. I had the Creole food.
But let's talk about the facts, though. Is microwavable food quick? Yes. Is get McDonald's quick? Yes. College students get fast food.
But you gotta manage your time.
I mean, that's what it's about. You got to.
Your time.
But the food
I wasn't going to see. Nah.
It's quick.
I am from the era of you got food at home, and AKA, do you have McDonald's money? Yeah, I'm from that era. Yeah, I had food at my dorm.
I feel that. Gotta stock it up. Yeah. Man, oh man.
Let's ask you a couple questions. It's okay if you don't have time, it's fine. Okay. All good. Have a nice day. The Americans don't have time for me.
Really?
Wow.
That's kind of funny. Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?
Yeah.
Polarized. Extremely polarized.
Yeah. More than the Netherlands.
Much more.
Feel younger people feel the same way or differently about Americans?
I think even stronger.
Even stronger?
I think they feel even stronger.
Yeah, the older people, I feel maybe thinking of the World War II and World War I. In which the Americans did a very good job by helping, because Europe was not doing very well.
Yes.
Schooling them. Okay, school.
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays.
Parce que
enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
Enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
C'est-à-dire que c'est pas contre eux, mais qu'ils s'intéressent pas trop aux autres pays.
They know about their own country, but not about like other stuff in the world. They're overrated.
They're overrated. How? Like,
golly.
They receive too much attention?
Yeah, too much hype.
Too much hype. Internet. Are you also German?
Yes, I am.
And in Germany, you feel like German people have a positive view of Americans? Or
not really.
No, okay, so more negative.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel that there's been a...
So Germans to the front.
Just that guy.
Y'all up there.
Just that guy. Just that guy come to the front.
Y'all feel like y'all don't like us for real? Y'all be lying?
I feel like it's love, y'all.
Y'all be lying. Y'all don't like our
love.
personalities and our sense of humor and just trying to bring everybody united and make the world a better place. Y'all be lying.
Yeah, he probably had a bad experience. He was a little salty.
All right.
It's okay.
Y'all feel like we got too much attention on us? Okay.
We're a little hype.
We're a little hype. All right. Okay.
A change at all in terms of how Americans are viewed Like in the last 10, 15 years?
I think so, yes. Especially due to the Trump and the Tea Party things happening. It got more polarized and that made it more negative in my view.
There's more that I'd like to say about why I believe this dynamic is happening, why Europeans see Americans in this way. But before I do, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is BetterHelp. And look, therapy is a really powerful tool when it comes to anything and everything identity related. I absolutely love living abroad. I wouldn't exchange it for the world. But it has come with its own emotionally challenging situations, and it's been helpful to work with a therapist over the years. Loneliness, my own self-image, my self-worth, those are the kinds of things that I've been working at developing a deeper understanding of over the years thanks to therapy. BetterHelp is 100% online and designed to be convenient and flexible to adapt to your schedule and what works for you. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it works for you. They give you access to a very large network of licensed therapists, and so if the therapist that you're working with doesn't work out, it isn't a good fit, you can switch to a new one at no additional charge. So if you're interested in checking it out, you can get 10% off your first month if you sign up at betterhelp.com/NathanielDrew, and I'll leave that link in the description as well. It's one of the best ways to support my work. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. All right, time for me to share some of my own personal theories here. Here's why I think it was maybe a little bit cooler to be American in the past. I was born in the 90s, maybe like some of you. And back in the 90s, it's not like the United States, or the world for that matter, didn't have its problems. It definitely did. You're not gonna get any of that classic, nostalgic, those were the days kind of thing from me. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that back in the 90s, the internet had not yet completely taken over our lives like it has now. And in my view, the internet feels like it's taken whatever problems already existed and made them bigger and louder. That might actually be what the internet is best at. The fast transmission of ideas and information, which in turn amplifies them. And there's another thing that the internet is really good at, which is that it is a canvas for less curated or filtered versions of that information or ideas. There are less gatekeepers, so anyone can say anything. My theory is that as time has gone on, and as the internet has played a bigger and bigger role in our lives, the world has been exposed to a less curated version of the United States. You know, you had movies and TV and pop music reaching the entire world, but it wasn't like it is today, with social media and even the news reaching so many more people. Nowadays, it feels like you cannot escape the news about the mass shootings that are constantly happening in the US, or the insane election cycles. I think in some ways, the internet might have taken away some of our innocence, right? Some of our naivete. As a result, even more curated versions of culture, like the highly produced TV shows and movies, are reflecting the things that we're seeing. The unintelligent or simple American is a very believable archetype and not a new one. You've got at least one, and often more than one character that perfectly fits that archetype in pretty much all American sitcoms, from Friends to How I Met Your Mother. And there are plenty of shows that play off of this very intentionally. I think of South Park and Family Guy and The Simpsons. And internationally, the contrast is even more stark. And it might just be me, but it does feel like the perception of Americans is deteriorating. I mean, I'm thinking about shows like Emily in Paris or The White Lotus. The White Lotus in particular blew me away because it felt so believable, and oftentimes in a very depressing way. Clearly, Americans are not known for being refined or in touch with reality. This is particularly true of wealthy Americans. And why wouldn't Europeans feel this way? We are famously terrible at learning foreign languages. To many, we're seen as living in our own giant bubble.
A lot of people beforehand used to...
Okay, so we are 90s kids.
Facts. Shout out, shout out.
90s, early.
Yep.
But,
Nintendo.
I feel like just remembering like big events of our life, like, you know, the Bush administration, and imagine if that happened during the time where social media was big, like during even MySpace days.
Yeah. During
those days, and we knew of all the other countries that were sending in help, and particularly Canada. Like, we didn't find that out until our adult years, right? So imagine if this was around during that time, and even the Katrina stuff was going on during that time, during the time of social media being as popular as it is now. I feel like we would have had this image. I never knew how other countries looked at us until social media.
heard that.
Ever. And we were never the people, us. We were never the people who thought we were these big, high, mighty Americans because what we have always known our country to be. But at the same time, we never knew much about other countries until social media because it's not emphasized in our school curriculum. So it's us as adults having a genuine curiosity of the world to understand people's different cultures. And I hope I'm making sense because I have so many thoughts that's going on in my mind.
No, you are.
But I feel like politics, when people first think of America, they think of our politics and our politicians. And yes, they're supposed to represent us, but do they actually represent us, like average Americans?
No.
You know, like, yeah.
And there's no excuses, though. I mean, back in the day, like you said, MySpace, right? Our MySpace friends was just people that, like, we grew up in the BET era, you feel me? So we had, like, the little innocence of the young, upcoming artists of that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we seen that part of the wave and everything. And we could have been like, okay, let me see what's going on across the world at that time. But I feel like that wasn't even a thing. But with the generation now being born into, like, literally being born into a tablet in your hand, being born into sitting down in your car watching a TV set, you know what I'm saying? It's like they have no excuses to, like, really look further into the lives and to the other locations of the world. Because I feel like the media already shows you that. The media already shows you that on your For You page. The media shows you that on an ad that pops up, on the commercials that comes with it. Back in the day, for us, we didn't necessarily have that, like, talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
maybe it wasn't as advanced like it is now.
Yeah, so all they saw before really being able to see our lives and hear it from the horse's mouth, all they saw at first was curated movie scripts. And reality TV has messed up our image big time.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
And I feel like, especially with me being so confident in myself, people
try to put you in that narrative.
They try to put me in that narrative.
Put you in that little box real quick. Like, she looked like she watched that.
No.
Can you tell last time we watched TV, y'all?
No.
Real talk. Like, can't even tell you we sat up in front of the TV set and been like, flip burger, beer, flip, piece of cup, flip, like, nah.
So I'm going to pose the question to you all. And anybody can answer this question, but I want to particularly speak to millennials. What did y'all think of not just Americans, but other people? Like, how did y'all view other people before the internet? Like, before social media became what it is today? Like, did y'all see them the same as y'all see Americans? Or, like, how was that?
I'm a millennial. I think I need to answer that question.
Boy, you are American millennial.
Oh, you talking about the millennials outside the Americans?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay. The Americas.
Of wealthy Americans. And why wouldn't Europeans feel this way? We are famously terrible at learning foreign languages. To many, we're seen as living in our own giant bubble.
A lot of people beforehand used to think like the US was like very cool and this really lovely place to go to, but I feel like everyone just thinks it's dangerous and that they don't care about their citizens. There's all these shootings going on, like their healthcare is horrible, their schooling's horrible.
So there's been a change.
I think it's always been like that. I think there's a change now because like social media is is making it more apparent.
America used to be, you know, like the American dream, like a lot of them used to be a big thing. Like gun crime is getting like publicized a lot more, so I think like the narrative is changing a little bit.
Je vois l'Amérique comme une grande puissance mondiale et je les vois comme des capitalistes. En fait, si t'as de l'argent, tu vis bien, mais si t'as pas d'argent, y a personne pour t'aider. Marche ou crève.
In France, we say the Americans are big and fat, but I have America with the friends, the salary friends.
Donc il y a des côtés positifs et des côtés négatifs.
Ouais, c'est ça exactement. Globalement, les gens pensent ça, mais en même temps, tout le monde va à New York et tout le monde va aux États-Unis.
Ouais, d'accord, ok.
C'est ça en fait. Ouais. Ils ont des préjugés, mais en même temps, c'est quand même un rêve d'y aller.
J'étais absolument ulcérée quand Trump était au pouvoir. De voir le comportement de cet homme, ça donne pas envie d'aller forcément dans ces conditions-là. Le fait que les gens soient très très armés, j'ai l'impression que je me sentirais pas en sécurité.
Most people love Canadians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you clarify you're a Canadian, they're like,
You're like, oh, Canada, where are you from in Canada? For me, it's like a lot about the money. Like the times I went to New York and it's like, you know, winners and losers and, you know, you gotta make it and you gotta make loads of money and la 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 la, and then like if you don't have money, you're like basically fucked. I would say extremes.
Extremes.
It's like
it's sad, you know what I'm saying, that people outside things like that, because if you look on social media platforms with everybody trying to motivate you, it's like it's a level of pressure they're always putting on you every single day to feel like if you ain't doing this, your life ain't gonna be what it's supposed to be.
Right.
And I don't think that's a narrative we need to be pushing. Because sometimes not everybody want to get out of a 9-to-5. Not everybody want to get into entrepreneurship. Not everybody want to be in a 9-to-5. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think the messenger is giving their own message a lot of times, and they need to just take their own advice and keep it to themselves.
Yeah, I feel like we are taught, like it's almost in us. We're taught to make it. We're taught to be successful.
We want to be successful.
Everybody wants to be successful.
Everybody wants a little bit of success.
And I want to speak to like what she said about the extremes of having money. Yeah. Y'all saw, what is it called in California? Dang it, I always forget the name. The homeless community, the name for it.
The name for it is pretty big too, ain't it?
But like... it's a good percentage of people in this country that are living paycheck to paycheck. If they miss one paycheck, they're homeless, they're without a car, they're without food. So everybody wants to be successful. The minimum wage is really what the lady say, work or die. That's true.
That is facts.
That is very true.
That is facts. It's sad too.
Yeah.
It's a sad reality. It's like you make a good check, but then you get taxed for it.
It's never enough.
Then it's not enough for all your bills. I mean, trust me, been there, done that.
But one thing I feel like people cannot take from us, we are hard workers. Now, I know there are some people who abuse different systems that's put in place to help people and to be like a stepping stone. But people cannot take from the fact that we are hard workers.
100%.
We go after what we want. And I'm just... I can't speak for the whole America, okay? But the Demouchets are hard workers. Y'all have never and y'all will never see us, knock on wood, come on this platform, ask y'all for some money to benefit ourselves, try to scam anybody, ask for a shout out, ask for a handout. We're hard workers. We have been at the bottom of the bottom. We know how it feels to be without. That's why we work our tails off to get everything that we need in life.
Not real talk.
No, but
that was a standing ovation because there's a story behind what you're saying. I see that 100%. And it never was a day where I had to step back and tell other people that, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, I did speak on motivational speakers. I ain't gonna say I once was, I am a motivational speaker, and I do tell people, not everybody. I mean, if you come across a platform and it applies to you, then you can take it and run with it. But I don't personally go to people and tell people every single day that you need to do this, 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 because I'm always working on myself and mine. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I always want to make sure that we are always in a good position to show people through action that it's possible, than letting them look at us and have to hear it through the mouths that you have to do this, you have to do this to be something in life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like display is more, it's more reciprocated easier than someone in your ear. And they ain't doing nothing but in your ear. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't do that.
Right. So look, we hard workers. It's hard. It's hard in America. It is. But if you have a plan, you have goals, and you stick with it, your dreams will come true. Whatever your dreams are.
Gotta do your research. Let you know where you want to put that location pin at, and you can really thrive in certain locations.
Yeah.
Extreme, country, like very, very rich, very, very poor, eat very much, eat very, very, very healthy, like extreme healthy, extreme, like XXXL, McDonald's, whatever.
Where are you from?
England.
Perfect. So I'm doing a video on Europeans' view of Americans.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any opinions about that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We're from Europe. No, we're not. We left the EU.
No, this is in Europe.
Do you feel like it's a more positive or a negative view of Americans?
I'd say negative. I feel like there's a lot going on there that's just a bit backwards.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we need to move along.
Yeah.
The all the abortion laws coming in.
So politically.
And, like all the gun crimes, things like that. Like I imagine like most of the country is absolutely lovely, but there's some of the morals that are just a little bit off for me, so I struggle with that.
I think before she gets to speak, I think when I'm hearing the word negative and they're talking about Americans, they're not saying that we're negative in a way to where they hate us.
Right.
They're negative in a way to where you guys aren't people that I ever want to be a neighbor with. It's like it's negative in a way. It's like the ads, the displaying, the things that is being put in front of us that we have to use in the schools and the presidency and the politics and the gun laws and like she's mentioned like a lot of things like that's like a sympathy almost that they're having.
Right. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sympathy.
But I do think you all like proper chatty and that, and you're really energetic.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
but I
lovely
also
to
agree
meet
with that as well.
Yeah.
It's lovely to meet Americans.
Yeah.
Love meeting Americans.
So why am I so interested in this topic? Well, over the last few years, I have shared my journey moving abroad and looking for a home. Because that home is not the United States. I just don't feel connected to that country. Not as a home, even though I'm coming to realize that it did shape me in many ways. I'm just trying to find my place, but as I've said before, different people will treat you in different ways based off of how they perceive you. The first time I experienced this was during my high school exchange in France when I was 16 years old. Obama was president, and regardless of your personal political opinions or feelings, he was seen in a generally positive light abroad. So in a weird way, even though I was not responsible for electing him, I wasn't even of age to vote, that scored me some cool points. And then on top of it, 16-year-old French kids living in a small town in the west of France thought it was cool that I rode a yellow bus to school and that I had my own personal locker in the United States. So I was benefiting from all these things that I didn't really control at all. But then I get to Argentina a few years later, and I see what it's like to be on the flip side, where the general sentiment was more negative. I'm generalizing here, but there's a bit of an anti-American streak in Argentina. I think this comes down to the image that the United States has of being a bit of a bully. I mean, Che Guevara is a bit of an anti-American, anti-capitalist symbol, right? So that was a very different experience, and now I'm back in Europe, and I've been here for a while, and the perception has changed yet again.
90% of the Dutchmen think Trump is quite strange.
Yeah.
They think Republicans are also quite strange. And that Americans are very Puritan.
This might just be me, but I do feel like the image of Americans has deteriorated a little bit over the last 10 years. That might come down to the government that's currently in power. It might come down to social media. This is a very complex thing, so I can't point to a single reason, but it's definitely a feeling that's there. Now, on a personal level, before I realized that this was going on, I was kind of unintentionally overcompensating. I felt like I needed to show that I wasn't the out-of-touch American in Europe. And the same thing happened to me in Argentina, where I was speaking with as much slang as I possibly could that I picked up over there, even when it was just way too much, when it was inappropriate. Que zarpado, boludo, está re piola, pibe, mal. Why was I acting like that? Was there a deeper need within me to be accepted by the people that I am surrounded by? To me, it's a little bit cringy to behave that way because it's overcompensating for something, which in this case was the identity that people were associating with me. Whatever it was, the out-of-touch, stupid American, or whatever it might be. But that's actually a me problem, not a problem with the world. I've come to realize that people can think whatever they want about you. It doesn't change who you are. If people see me as yet another dumb American, it doesn't mean that's true. And also, it doesn't mean all Americans are that way. I think we all know this. We all know that individuals don't necessarily follow the stereotypes, but it's also how people operate in a world of 8 billion people. I can't blame people for having formulated an idea about the place that I'm from, considering how much culture is exported from that place. A part of me used to try to distance myself as much as possible from anything and everything American, but the truth is that at least some part of me, some piece of me, has been influenced by my upbringing there. There are a lot of things I don't like, but there are some things that I do. If genuinely being very enthusiastically excited about simple things is the dumb American thing to do, then fine, maybe I'm a dumb American sometimes, because that is something that comes naturally to me. I would rather be myself and accept the consequences than try to be someone that I'm not. And you know what? Everyone wants to feel welcome wherever they are, and especially in their home. But the reality is that that's actually a luxury, not a given. So many immigrants in the United States were never made to feel that way, despite the fact that the country benefited tremendously from all the immigration, all the people that risked their lives to go build something over there. Honestly, I don't have it that bad. Who my mates were never made to feel that way, despite the fact that the country benefited tremendously from all the immigration, all the people that risked their lives.
Or what about slavery? People that didn't even get to choose and still got mistreated.
To go build something over there. Honestly, I don't have it that bad. Who am I kidding? I don't have it bad at all. It could be so much worse, and oftentimes it is. Exploring this topic has really given me quite a bit of empathy for the immigrants that are very poorly received all around the world. So, what do you think about everything I just shared here? What is your perception of Americans or of Europeans towards Americans? I would be curious to hear because...
Okay.
All right.
So.
Be yourself, guys. Yes. Always be yourself regardless. Because if we pull it up right now and we told y'all we from America, regardless of how you feel, thought, wanted to perceive us America for your first time ever, for your first time in life, I felt I would still give you who we are.
Yes.
That's how it gotta be.
This is an interesting discussion because if you have been on the channel for a minute, you'll know that this channel originally started with music reactions. And last summer, we did our first video that was not music or comedy or entertainment, whatever. And we did a TikTok video about dumb Americans or things Americans has told you that's dumb. Something like that. And that is when we really started to understand how people view America. And in those videos, people were calling us closed-minded. Us, can y'all believe us? Closed-minded and, yeah, other things. And it was basically us saying, okay, this is not true for everybody. So here's our experience. Y'all know how we react, right? And so that is what pushed us to start to do culture type of content and just really understanding the world outside of America. Because being an American, you are pushed to basically contribute to your country, be successful in your country, live in your country, travel in your country, like you're taught those things. So that is why we started doing this type of content, learning different things about the world, different cultures, and we did that little pivot.
No, 100%. Because you'd be surprised by how little a person know about a group of people, about a person, but how much they receive when it comes to talking negative about the people. You know what I'm saying? And it just hurts the group that they're talking about, and it's like a little small disease that slowly spreads because word of mouth is vicious, bro. Like A to B, C, all the way to Z. And we just kind of kill all of those commenters and whatnot that don't need to be said by doing videos like this and helping people understand that not everybody is the way that you may once thought they were. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of killing that whole narrative real quick.
Right. And we just share our true and honest experiences of our life, our culture, and, you know, being an American. We don't want to ever stop being students of life. Even, you know, being adults with children, married, like we've gone through a lot of things to other people because we have a broad audience, right? We have people on the channel who are over 65. Because we have been through a lot at such young ages, we just try to, you know, enlighten people that it's okay to not know something. That does not mean that you're dumb.
You know what I like to do? Now, if it's not over sensible to where, like, come on, bro, like, everybody should know this already, I like to sit back and listen to somebody tell me something that I already know. Then, at the end of the day, I'm not going to, like, stop this person from talking. I'm going to listen to what they got to say because I feel it's important for them to have that say-so. Like, everybody have a platform where they get to say. You shouldn't shut nobody's conversation down because what they're saying is still important, even though you know it already, but you just now have a window to have a conversation about something without necessarily being like, oh, I know that, bro. You ain't got to talk about that.
They may shed a different experience on it.
100%.
Or something that you're hearing for the first time. Like, a lot of times we talk about, you know, our culture, being black in America, being African Americans. We talk about that a lot on the channel because there's a lot of things in the African diaspora that we want to know about, that we were shut off from learning about. And so just taking all of the experiences that we have gained throughout life and sharing it with you all and comparing and contrasting things. Always be a student at life. And because Dion and I, we counsel people, and we're mentors to people, we gonna get back to the video. Because I feel like it's starting to be a therapy session.
Girl, look, I'm up here about to say. And, real talk, though, because, you know, we have an audience, a family base of over 1,000 subscribers. 100,000 subscribers on this platform, and everybody is coming in slowly, and we're building a community of like-minded individuals. So it's good to have a group of like-minded people where they can also have these conversations among themselves, because even in the comment section, they don't be biting each other's hands off. They be listening, bro. Like, not the real ones. They be really at each other's, like, conversations be on point, like, and they be laughing, and it's love.
Right. And not like-minded as everybody think the same. Like-minded,
no, not like that.
Everybody are students of life.
We have an understanding.
Wanting to learn and understand each other. That's it. All right, so this was a cool video.
It was.
Yeah, a good topic for us to, continue to dwell and talk about it. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.